What's up, people? Welcome back to Daily Red Devil for all of your latest Manchester United transfer news and talk. Hope everyone is doing well on this Sunday morning here in the UK. The weather is absolutely horrendous. It is raining. It's like a storm going on out there. So yeah, I hope wherever you are in the world, the weather's nice, because it certainly is not very nice here. Anyway, as always, we've got an absolutely massive show for you guys this morning. So do make sure to smash a like on the video and do subscribe to the channel if you are new here. We've got so much to get into on this Sunday morning. The news is coming in thick and fast around Manchester United at the moment. So I'm super excited to jump into it all with you guys. On this morning's show, we're going to be talking about a big story that came out last night saying that the Glazers are ready to hand Erik ten Hag a war chest for this transfer window. £170 million war chest. That's what's being reported. We've got some news on Harry Kane. We've got some news on Harry Maguire. We've also got a bit of an update on Onana from Fabrizio Romano, which we will jump into in a minute. We've got some more news on Amrabat. We've got loads to get into on the show this morning, guys. So as always, do get involved in the live chat as well. Do get your comments in. I will try and read out as many questions and comments as possible later on in the show. Anyway, let's start off with Onana. Everybody's asking me, Kieran, what's going on with Onana? Where is he? Why has it not happened yet? You know, why is he not signed? Everyone's getting worried. Everyone's not sleeping. Anyway, let's jump straight into it. So Fabrizio Romano has just come out saying the following. Andre Onana is joining Manchester United. It's just a matter of formal things and small details. So what we expect to be going on here is they're just working out the small details of add-ons, of the structure of the deal, etc., etc. So Fabrizio Romano is reporting this morning that Andre Onana is joining Manchester United. It's just a matter of formal things and small details. And we do expect Andre Onana to be in Manchester tomorrow. That's what's being reported for his medical. So we can expect to see him as a Manchester United player by tomorrow, I think, guys. So everybody just stay patient. I think we'll see him in that shirt, in the beautiful Manchester United shirt by tomorrow, guys. Very, very positive. The transfer fee is apparently €50 million plus add-ons, which is €50 million is £43 million. So that's what's apparently been agreed. That's what's being reported by multiple different journalists. Manchester United will pay £43 million up front and then around £3 million in add-ons, which I think is an absolutely incredible bit of business. Yeah, I'm feeling positive about that one, but do let me know in the comments section. Are you happy? Ooh. Oh, sorry, everyone. Anyway, sorry about that. Do let me know how you're feeling about the fee and how you're feeling about Onana as a whole. Right, let's move on to the next story, guys. Let's jump into this war chest section, because I know everyone's probably thinking, what the hell are you talking about, Kieran? There was 2 or 3 different journalists in the UK coming out this morning, it was, right? So it's in the Sunday newspapers, all the rest of it, saying the following. The Glazers have told Erik ten Hag they will hand him all the financial firepower he needs. They were initially reluctant to sanction the £170 million odd that Ten Hag would like. So apparently what's being reported today in the UK is that the Glazers will sanction £170 million worth of spending this summer for Erik ten Hag. I mean, that sounds great. It does. £170 million. That's great. You can go and get yourself Onana, Mason Mount, Amrabat, and probably a striker with that, can't you? But that is maybe a bit concerning at the same time, because why are they giving us all this money if they're leaving? We'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute, but I'm going to read out all the other bits around this story before we get into it. But the headline is, guys, that the Glazers have made available £170 million for Erik ten Hag this summer. And the headline is that the Glazers have told Erik ten Hag they will hand him all of the financial firepower he needs this summer, despite the club being up for sale. So they're giving him the budget he needs. They're backing him again. Does this mean they're staying? Somebody's saying who's reporting this. So there's 3 different journalists. There's Tom Hopkinson, who writes, let me check who he writes for. Tom Hopkinson, who writes for, sorry, hold on, I've just got the names of the journalists. So it's Tom Hopkinson, and there's another person as well. It's all in the kind of Sunday newspapers this morning, pretty much, guys, here in the UK. But it's also on the internet as well. Tom Hopkinson and another guy as well, whose name I cannot find. But yeah, so apparently they're going to hand him £170 million. Now, just to confirm, that may be including sales. It doesn't say 170 million net. So this story is potentially a bit misleading, okay? It doesn't say 170 million net. It says 170 million. So is that including player sales? We don't actually know at this point. But yeah, I mean, it sounds positive because we were told we had 100 and now we're being told we have 170. So I guess that's good. Like at the end of the day, we want the success for Manchester United, for Ten Hag on the pitch. That's the most important thing. I just realised my microphone wasn't even in front of me. I apologise for that, guys. I hope the microphone sounds better now. Yeah, I mean, if you look at it black and white, it's a positive because it means that Erik Ten Hag is being backed. But does that mean they're staying? I don't know. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But let's move on to the next story. Do let me know how you feel in the comment section about this £170 million war chest. People asking, is that on top? I don't know. I'm trying to get a bit more clarity on that as we speak about the exact breakdown of it. But the story came out this morning and the headline is that the Glazers will hand him all of the financial firepower he needs. They were initially reluctant to spend to sanction the £170 million plus budget Ten Hag would want. So he must have said to them at the beginning of the season, I want 4 players. I want, Mason Mount, Onana, Amrabat and a striker. I still don't see how that's going to get us those players with 170 million. I still think we'll need a lot more than that to get. I mean, if they want 85 for Rasmus, that's half of our budget, isn't it? So yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on that one. We've got over 250 people in the chat already, guys. Absolutely massive shout. So everybody can smash a like on the video really, really quickly, and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. That would be massively appreciated. So we've got a bit of a take here, which I will read out because I do like to get other people's opinions. So Mark says, it's better that the Glazers stay. So Mark says, it's better the Glazers stay than they sell to Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Right, I'm going to echo that back to the chat. What does everybody think in the comment section? Somebody in the comments has said he thinks it's better that the Glazers stay than instead of selling it to Sir Jim Ratcliffe. And so let me know your opinions on this. Would you be happy with the Glazers staying, or would you prefer them to sell to Sir Jim Ratcliffe? Forget about Sheikh Jassim for a minute. The question is, what would you prefer, the Glazers to stay or the Glazers to stay with Sir Jim Ratcliffe? Okay. Somebody in the chat said they prefer Glazers to stay on their own, and I actually agree with you. I would, at this point, prefer the Glazers stay on their own than them stay with Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Because, as I've said to you guys on many, many videos before, if the Glazers get into bed with Sir Jim Ratcliffe, we're never going to get rid of them. We won't. They'll be here forever. If they stay, in a couple of years' time, they might end up selling. The only way we're going to get one owner of Manchester United is if a full sale happens, okay? And as soon as they get into bed with Sir Jim Ratcliffe, a full sale goes out the window. It does. You will never see a full sale of Manchester United, I promise you that, because Sir Jim would own 50%, the Glazers would own 18%, there'd be 31% on the New York Stock Exchange. It'll be so complicated. It will honestly be impossible for somebody to buy the club if they sell to Sir Jim Ratcliffe. So I do agree with you, Mark, but do let me know in the comment section if you disagree. Obviously, what Sir Jim Ratcliffe is offering is still the Glazers to stay. He's not offering the Glazers out, is he? I know there was talk of, oh, he might get rid of them in a few years' time and all the rest of it, but that's just a pipe dream for me. I don't believe that. So for me, it's either they sell to Sheikh Jassim in full, 100%, or I genuinely would rather they stay, and then I'll just live on the hope that in the next 1 or 2 years, somebody else, another super wealth, maybe Elon Musk, maybe Jeff Bezos, maybe one of these. I'm just giving names here. I'm not saying I specifically want one of those people, but somebody like that comes in and buys the club off the Glazers, because as soon as they sell to Sir Jim Ratcliffe, guys, we're done for, honestly. That's it. We'll be stuck with them probably for the rest of my life, I reckon. I know that sounds dramatic on a Sunday morning, but that's genuinely what I believe. Now, we've got a story coming in. Let's move over to some positivity, because you do know I like to spread positivity. We've got a story coming in about Harry Maguire. This came out last night, and I was going to do a video about it on its own, but I thought I'll just wait till this morning. I'll wait until everybody's on their Sunday morning, having their breakfast or whatever, and I've come to the channel for a bit of a positive chat. So, you ready for this, guys? You're going to like this, I promise you. As you guys know, West Ham have just got £105 million for Declan Rice, and there was multiple stories coming out last night. Here's one of them for you. So the story goes like this. Harry Maguire is high on David Moyes' wanted list at centre-back, although West Ham would prefer a loan move to a permanent deal at this stage. Okay, so they really, really want him. There's another story coming in from the Telegraph saying West Ham to test Harry Maguire's resolve to stay at Manchester United after selling Rice. So that's another story in the last 24 hours that West Ham want Declan Rice. West Ham are now ready to test Maguire's resolve to stay and fight for his place. And then there's even a fourth story coming from another journalist saying West Ham are now exploring a move for Manchester United defender Harry Maguire. It is understood he has accepted he would be best leaving the club. So as it stands, guys, this is music to my ears. I'm so happy to bring this to you on a Sunday morning. I couldn't think of a better story. I honestly couldn't. I know people want rid of McTominay as well, but I would rather keep McTominay than get rid of Maguire, you know? Sorry. I would rather keep McTominay and get rid of Maguire. I don't mind McTominay. Like, he's not a bad player. He's still only 25, 26. If we can get rid of Maguire to West Ham, that would be an incredible bit of business. So for anybody just joining, literally 3 or 4 different journalists in the UK are reporting that West Ham are going to put in a bid for Harry Maguire. That is such great news. It really, really is. So do smash a like on the video if you're happy about that bit of news, guys. The fee is believed to be around £40 million. That's what Manchester United want. Whether we'll get that or not, I don't know. I don't think they'll get 40 million for him. I think you'd be lucky to get 20 to 30. But at this point, I would take whatever West Ham are offering. If they would offer us 25 million for Harry Maguire, I'd take it 100%. I wouldn't even blink. If we got 40, that would be absolutely unbelievable. At the end of the day, guys, if you actually want to think about it, right? Harry Maguire, he's the starting centre-back for England. He plays well for England. He's not a bad footballer. He just doesn't suit Manchester United's system. So maybe he is worth 40 million. He isn't worth 40 million to us, but to West Ham, he probably is. So, yeah, even if we get 20 to 30 million for Harry Maguire, guys, that would be a massive, massive coup for us. And that would be really, really positive. But as I said, there's about 3 or 4 different journalists in the UK since late last night reporting that West Ham will now put in an offer for Harry Maguire. Obviously, they've got all this money from Declan Rice. Their defence was really, really poor last season. They obviously nearly got relegated. It's an area of the pitch that they need to improve massively. I mean, who have they even got in defence? Is it Kurt Zouma? I can't remember. I know they've got Kurt Zouma, don't they? Anyway, their defence was really, really poor last season, and David Moyes really wants to improve his defensive area. So I do expect an offer to come in for Harry Maguire. And as you guys all know, Manchester United first team players, so Maguire, Rashford, Bruno, Mason Mount, Luke Shaw, they all returned to Carrington yesterday. So all of the first team are now back at Carrington. They're all now training again. So this is when stuff's going to start happening. This is when people like Maguire, McTominay, people like that will start. You'll start hearing murmurs about them leaving the club, because remember, they were on holiday. Yeah, all the rest of it. So yeah, hopefully this one goes through. Their defence is very, very poor at the moment. And let's be real, guys. I know people, don't like Harry Maguire, but Harry Maguire would massively improve West Ham's defence, without a shadow of a doubt. He would go in there. He'd be able to play the kind of football that David Moyes needs. They don't play, high up the pitch attacking football. They play defensive football. They hit on the counter-attack. That's exactly what Harry Maguire is good at. I reckon he'll do really, really well, guys. I do. I think he'll do really well at West Ham. And I wouldn't be surprised if all of the kind of mainstream journalists who don't actually watch Manchester United will be saying, oh, Manchester United made a massive mistake selling Harry Maguire to West Ham. Like, I honestly can see that headline already being written somewhere, because I think he'll go there and do well, and I wish him all the best, all right? I'm not in the Maguire hate club. I just don't think he suits Manchester United. So let's hope this one happens. Let's hope Harry Maguire gets his move. The fee is believed to be around £40 million. Obviously, he's English as well, which Declan Rice just went for over 100. There is no way on this earth that Declan Rice is worth 100 million pounds, guys. So if we can get 40 million for Harry Maguire from West Ham, that's still only less than half of the budget they've got from selling Declan Rice. If we can get that done, that would be an incredible bit of business. But I have got a question for you all, guys, to let me know in the comments section. Let me know how much you think Manchester United should be getting for Harry Maguire. He's got 2 years left on his contract. He's obviously played, over 100 games for Manchester United. He's the Manchester United captain. He starts for England every game. How much do you think Harry Maguire's worth? He's got 2 years left on his deal. He's 30 years of age. He's in the prime of his career. How much do you think we should be selling him for? I would say 25 to 40 million. Anything less than 25, I think, would be a bit of a joke. I think if we can get 25 to 40 for him, I would be happy with that. I think a competent club like a Manchester City would probably get 35 to 40, but Manchester United will probably get 25 to 35. And I do think he'll do well there. I really do. But obviously, if you disagree, if people don't like Harry Maguire, then that's fine. But he isn't a bad footballer. He just doesn't suit Erik ten Hag's style. You've got to remember when we played counter-attacking football under Ollie. Let's give him let's be fair here, guys. He wasn't bad under Ollie at first. When we were playing counter-attacking football, he was actually quite good. It was only when we started trying to play actual Manchester United football, fast, attacking, high line, he couldn't do that. So anyway, let's move on from that. Anybody just joining, 2 or 3 different journalists in the UK reporting since last night that West Ham are now going to target Harry Maguire after completing the sale of Declan Rice. West Ham are now ready to test Harry Maguire's resolve to stay and fight for his place. And Manchester United reportedly want Maguire will be a lead. So here we go. So it says Maguire will be allowed to leave if a £40 million offer is tabled. Maguire has accepted. He won't be getting any game time at Manchester United. So apparently he's accepted that. We do expect him and Ten Hag to be having a conversation either yesterday. It could have happened already. As I said, they all reported back to training yesterday. So we do expect this deal to probably at least start building up some momentum in the next week or so. Because for me personally, I would not be taking him on that preseason tour to America. There's absolutely no point. I'd leave him in England. I would keep him here and I'd get him out of the club, because as soon as you take him on that plane to America, it's just an unnecessary distraction. There's going to be all of this press. Maguire's lost the captaincy. Maguire this, Maguire that. Like, we don't want to talk about Maguire. He's not the captain anymore. Bruno's going to be the captain. Leave him in England. Wait until that offer comes in from West Ham and let him move to his new club. But do let me know in the comment section, guys. Would you like to see Harry Maguire at Manchester United next season? I assume most of you will say no, but do let me know anyway. Yeah, and I will read out some of your questions in a little bit, guys, so do get your questions in. We've got over 400 people watching this morning. That's absolutely incredible. So do make sure you like the video if you haven't already, and do subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 5,000 subscribers. As you guys know, we've only been doing this for about 4 or 5 weeks, and we're growing so quickly. So let's see how quickly we can hit 5k subscribers. So do subscribe if you haven't already, and please do make sure to smash a like on the video. It doesn't cost any money, it's completely free, and it really helps the channel. Right, let's move on to some more positivity, guys. Yeah, as Multi Clapton says, everybody please do smash a like on the video. So we've got a bit of a story about Amrabat coming in. This is coming in from Manchester Evening News. They're reporting that Manchester United retain an interest in adding another holding midfield to their squad, likely depending on the future of Scott McTominay. They like Romeo Lavia, but Amrabat is considered more likely. So as it stands, guys, Manchester Evening News are reporting that the two midfielders that we're targeting at the moment are Amrabat and Lavia. Let me know in the comment section, who would you prefer, Amrabat or Lavia? I would probably go with Amrabat, purely just on the fact that he'd probably cost about half the amount of money, and our budget doesn't allow us to be spending, 50+ million on Lavia. But do let me know in the comment section, who would you prefer, Lavia or Amrabat? Manchester Evening News are reporting that we're targeting both of those players, but it will depend on someone like Scott McTominay leaving. I mean, what happens if Scott McTominay and Maguire go to West Ham? Honestly, that's like I can't even fathom that. Imagine that, guys. McTominay and Maguire go to West Ham. That would probably be one of the best days of my recent Manchester United life. I'm not even joking. If both of those players leave the club, I'll be so happy. So let's hope that happens. They've got over £100 million to spend. Anybody joining the chat late, we will talk about the Eric Ten Hag war chest comment in a minute. We have spoke about it already, but I will talk about it again in a minute. And I've got a really interesting question to ask you guys, which would make it interactive. So, guys, let me know in the comment section, what would you prefer, Lavia for 50 million or Amrabat for 30? Let me know. And we will talk about the war chest thing in a minute. I have already spoke about it, but I will come back to it in a minute. And I have got an interesting question for you. So we've got another story coming in about Harry Kane. I know some people are saying, Kieran, why are you talking about Harry Kane? We're not going to sign him, but you never know, do you? You don't. Bayern Munich are putting in £70 million bids for Harry Kane. Like, why are we not in that race? Anyway, let me read out the story for you. Despite the rumours, Kane's preference remains a switch to Old Trafford, home of Manchester United. However, negotiations with Daniel Levy have been challenging, leading to little progress on that front. So there is a story coming out from the Business Times today saying that Harry Kane wants to join Manchester United. His preference is Manchester United. However, negotiations with Daniel Levy are always challenging, leading to little progress being possible on that front. So as it stands, guys, the stories are still saying that Harry Kane wants to join Manchester United. Obviously, we want Harry Kane. It's been reported for God knows how long that Harry Kane was the #1 target for Manchester United and Ten Hag. And we are still hearing these murmurs that Manchester United are his preferred option. He wants to come to Old Trafford. He wants to play for Manchester United. He is obviously heavily linked to Bayern Munich, but I don't know. if he goes to Bayern Munich for 70 million, I honestly think that's a disgrace that we didn't put in an offer. I really do. Like, we should have at least tested Daniel Levy. But anyway, let me know on that one, guys. We've got a bit of breaking news about Alex Telles. I know everyone's saying, when are we getting the Deadwood out of the club? So let's talk about this really, really quickly. This is coming in from Samuel Luckhurst in the Manchester Evening News. He says, Al Nassr have shown interest in Alex Telles. They will not want to be shortchanged for a player they could actually make a profit on, having bought Alex Telles for 13.6 million. So, yeah, I mean, we only paid 13 million for Alex Telles, and apparently Al Nassr, obviously the club that Cristiano Ronaldo plays for, have shown interest and been in contact with Manchester United over a proposed move. Manchester United apparently want around 15 million. As Samuel Luckhurst says, we only paid 13.6 million here, guys, for Alex Telles. So there is a real potential to make a bit of profit on this one. Let me know about Alex Telles. How much do you think Alex Telles would be worth to Manchester United? Obviously, Al Nassr are coming knocking. They've got abundance of money. Did anybody hear? Is it Simon Jordan on TalkSport? I'm going off on a bit of a different one here, but I think it's an interesting thing to talk about Saudi Arabian football and whether people... Are you guys worried about whether the Saudi Arabian Football League could eventually take over the Premier League? I don't know if you guys saw, but Simon Jordan on TalkSport said the other day that apparently, right, this is absolutely nuts. Apparently, the Saudi Arabian government, who ultimately are funding the Saudi Pro League, have given them a 17 billion budget for players from now until 2030. So in the next 7 years, right, the Saudi Arabian government have given the Saudi Pro League a budget of 17 billion pounds to spend on football players. Absolutely crazy. So in the next 7 years, they can spend about 3 billion a year, the Saudi League. Absolutely mental. Crazy. When you think that in the Premier League, we usually spend about, 1 billion a year? And apparently the Saudi League are going to be spending 2 to 3 billion a year every year until 2030. As Bob the Builder says, there's 500 people watching this morning, guys. Everybody smash a like on the video if you haven't already. We're going to talk about the war chest thing again really quickly because there's lots of new people joining. There's lots of people asking, Kieran, what's going on with this war chest? Please let me know. So there's a bit of breaking news that came out last night. It's coming from Tom Hopkinson, who is a journalist in the UK, and another journalist as well, 2 different journalists. And they say, the Glazers have told Erik ten Hag they will hand him all the financial firepower he needs. They were initially reluctant to sanction the 170+ million budget Erik ten Hag would like. So apparently the Glazers are going to hand Erik ten Hag 170 million pounds budget. It doesn't clarify whether that's net or whether that's including sales, but it says 170 million pound budget is going to be given to Erik ten Hag. I assume that's not including sales. So 170 million pound budget. It goes on to say that Manchester United owners, the Glazers, have told Erik ten Hag they will hand him all of the financial firepower he needs this summer, despite the club being up for sale. So all of the murmurs we heard before about 100 million budget, that's been completely rubbished. Apparently, the Glazers are ready to give him this war chest of 170 million pounds. The exact line is they'll give him all of the financial firepower he needs despite the club being up for sale. So that changes everything. It really does. I'm never going to be Glazers in, regardless of what happens, but that does change everything. It makes us have a few more options. I mean, if we get Onana and Mount for 95, and then we get Amrabat for 30, that still leaves us enough money for a striker without even having to sell anyone. So hopefully this could be the beginning of something good. I'm not going to get too excited until we actually start putting the money where our mouth is, because at the moment we only have one player and we're 1 month into the transfer window. But apparently the Glazers are handing Erik ten Hag 170 million pounds budget. I assume that's not including sales, to be honest with you, because there's no way that can be including sales, because we can easily raise 100 to 150 million this summer. But this could just be spin, though, guys. I do want to give both sides of the argument here. As much as that sounds positive that he's going to give them money, do you guys think this is just spin? Do you think the Glazers are trying to attempt to win over the fans? What is your opinion on this, guys? Do let me know in the comments section. It is a big story. It is coming out from multiple different journalists. So the headline is that they're going to give him 170 million pounds this summer. And I assume that is plus sales, because 170 million including sales is pretty much nothing, isn't it? But do let me know in the comments section, guys. Do you think this is just a desperate attempt by the Glazers to try and win the fans over? Or do you think they actually do care and they want to try and give Erik ten Hag the best opportunity to succeed next season? Do let me know in the comments section. I think this is probably spin. If anybody's saying I don't know what spin is, it's where they put out propaganda ultimately through the press to try and motivate the fan base, to try and make us feel positive, to try and shut us up ultimately, to try and silence us. They put out these stories saying, you know, that we're going to give him a war chest, we're going to back him, we're going to give him all the money he needs, we'll get him all the players he wants. That's ultimately the story that's come out today, guys, from multiple UK journalists saying that the Glazers are going to give Erik ten Hag everything he wants, all the players he wants, whatever he's asked for, they're going to give him. That's the story that's coming out today. And I do just feel like this is spin. At the end of the day, guys, they're trying to win us over. They're trying to stop us protesting that first game of the season against Wolves. That's all they ever try and do. They want to silence the people. They want to silence the fans, but it doesn't work. That's why we have platforms like this. Obviously, this is uncensored. We can give our opinion. We can talk about it as a community. We can all get involved in the comments section. I do think this is spin. I do think that they've put this story out. Obviously, you'd expect them to put their money where their mouth is now. They can't put out stories like this and then just be like, oh, we're only going to spend 100. You know, the stories come out now from UK journalists saying that they are going to give him £170 million budget this summer. So it's changed, isn't it? At the very beginning of the window, it was 100. Now it's 170. So things are changing. They obviously are noticing that the fans are against them and that they want the sale now. And it is worrying that, you know, we get these types of stories because it does make you think, like, why are they doing this? But at the end of the day, if we look at it on the very fundamental level, then let's just hope that Ten Hag does get the players he needs, because this transfer window so far has been an absolute disgrace, to be honest with you guys. It has. Somebody asked me last night what my review of my rating for the transfer window was so far out of 10, and I said 2 out of 10. But do let me know in the comment section, guys, how would you rate the transfer window so far? I would say 2 out of 10 so far. I think it's been a disgrace. I really, really do. To have only signed one player and sold nobody in a month is a disgrace. 2 out of 10. We've got over 500 of you in the chat today, guys. If anybody is new, please do subscribe to the channel. It doesn't cost any money. Everyone is welcome here. We're on the road to 5k, so let's see how quickly we can do that. And if you are a regular, please do smash the like button. Let's see how many likes we can get on this video. Let's see if we can smash our previous record. I think our previous record was like 500 likes on a video. So let's see if we can smash that, guys. We've got well over 500 people watching, so if everybody likes, we can easily smash that previous record of ours of about 500 likes. But yeah, do let me know in the comments section, how do you feel about this war chest story? Do you think it's just spin, or do you think the Glazers actually want to help Ten Hag and want him to succeed? I honestly think this is just spin, and as much as it excited me when I saw it, you know, it went from being 100 million budget to now apparently 170 million budget. Like, that does sound positive. So yeah, so sorry, there's more to that story, guys. I missed a really vital part of the story. Let me just read this bit out to you, okay? So it says, the Glazers were initially reluctant to sanction the 170 million plus budget that Ten Hag would like for transfers this summer. But the Glazers know that Manchester United's value will drop without any serious investment, and that they must not fall behind any further. So, I mean, make of that what you will, guys. The Glazers have pretty much just confirmed what their intentions are here. They're giving him the money, not because they want him to succeed, but they know that without any serious investment, this is the exact quote. It says, but the Glazers know Manchester United's value will drop without any serious investment, and that they must not fall behind any further. So ultimately, if they don't invest in the team, if they don't invest in the squad, if they don't invest in things, then the team's just going to fall further and further behind. And that's just obvious, isn't it? Like, if we don't invest in our team properly, we're gonna, I don't know where we'll be next season. We could be in the Conference League again. We might not even be in the Conference League, you know. So at least they are actually realizing that the position we're in, and that we do actually need to buy players and we do need to invest, because every other team around us, Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, all of those teams are doing such good business and are spending masses of money. Arsenal have spent, what, £200 million this summer already, and are still looking at, I think they're looking at Tchouaméni as well now. Like, Arsenal could spend £300 million this summer, and we've spent 55 and sold nobody. Like, they're doing great business. Liverpool, Henderson, Fabinho, like all of their, Milner, all of their deadwood is leaving. We've sold nobody. All of those teams are going to come back stronger. Like, you wait until Manchester City kick into gear. Manchester City are going to probably buy 3 or 4 players this summer. Like, we need to be doing at least what they're doing, if not more. So I think this war chest story that's come out this morning, I think they've realised that if they are going to stay, they have to invest, because otherwise their asset, their £6 billion asset, which is Manchester United, is just going to decrease in value. You know, it's like if you own a house, isn't it, right? Say you own a house and you have it for 20 years and you don't ever do any maintenance to it. You don't ever touch up the paint. You don't change the windows. You know, you don't change the flooring, and then you go to sell it. It's going to be worth way less than if you spent a bit of money to make it look better. So all they're doing is they're spending a bit of money, right, to try and retain the value or make it worth more, because they know that if they don't spend the money, it's not going to be worth more. So they're doing it for their own greed, really, guys. They're not, let's just be very clear here. This story pretty much confirms that they're doing it not because they want to back Ten Hag, but because they know that if they don't spend the money, right, the asset's just going to fall behind. They see it as an asset, remember, guys. We see it as the club we love, something that's been with us since we were, you know, children, and maybe a family member got you into Manchester United, whatever. It's something special in our hearts, Manchester United. But to the Glazers, it's just an asset. It's just a number on a screen, and they know that if they don't spend a bit of money on their asset, then it's going to fall behind. You know, it's going to be a decreasing asset. Anyway, so as much as I was positive about this story to begin with, after I just read out that second quote, which I completely missed, to be completely honest with you guys, and I do apologise for that, which was, the Glazers know that Manchester United's value will drop without any serious investment, and they must not fall any further behind. So they've pretty much said it there, guys. Unless they spend money, they're going to fall behind. That's the black and white of it. They need to spend money, otherwise they feel like their £6 billion asset will be worth less. So it's no risk for them, you know? They think, all right, let's spend 170 million and our asset will be worth more then. That's all they're doing it for. So it is frustrating. I hope that this doesn't mean that they're going to keep loads of players. I still hope that it's 170 million plus player sales, because if that is the case, then we could spend 250 to 300 million pounds this summer easily, guys. You know, if we got a 170 million budget, which is being reported today, and then we sell Maguire, McTominay, Telles, Bailly, Fred, etc., we could easily raise 100 plus million. So we should be able to spend 250 to 300 million this summer if we do our business properly. But do let me know in the comment section, guys, how do you feel about this? What do you think their real intentions are here, guys? Why do you think the Glazers are handing out Erik Ten Hag this 170 million pound war chest that's being reported? What do you think the real reasons are? Do you think they do want Erik Ten Hag to succeed, or do you think they're just trying to increase the value of their asset ahead, you know, in case of potentially selling it in the future? I think the latter. I think they're literally just doing this to, you know, to polish something that's just falling further and further behind. And to be completely honest with you, spending 170 million isn't going to make any difference. They need to spend 250, 300 million this summer, in my opinion. You need a goalkeeper, you need 2 midfielders, 2 strikers, probably another 2 midfielders. Like, you probably need another 5 or 6 first team players. This is a great question for you, actually, guys, right? So how many first team players do you think Manchester United need? Let me know in the comments section. How many first team players, I mean players who are going to actually start the match, and in what positions, how many players do you think Manchester United need to be challenging for the title? I will give my opinion really, really quickly. I think to challenge for the title, we probably need, obviously, the new goalkeeper. We need another midfielder, definitely. We need another 2 strikers, definitely. We probably need another centre-back, probably another right-back. We probably need 6 or 7 players, I think, to be anywhere near to challenging for the title, in my opinion. Yeah, that's what I think, but do let me know. How many first-team players do you think we need to be in a position to challenge for the title? I will read out some of your questions in a little bit. So somebody says, initially 100 million budget was available in May before the Champions League qualification. Subtracting player wages, David De Gea, Sabitzer saves almost 30 million, resulting in a budget of 130 million. Yeah, I'm not really sure where they've got this calculation from, because I think it's something to do with the wages. The thing you guys have got to remember, right? Ronaldo was on $500,000 a week. He wasn't replaced. David De Gea on 375. Sabitzer, Weghorst, all of these people, we're probably saving at least £1 million in wages now. And we haven't replaced any of those players. So what's that a month? 4 million a month. We're probably saving about £60 million in wages already this summer from getting rid of Ronaldo, getting rid of De Gea. So the Glazers have got an extra £60 million in their budget already without having to do anything. So this new budget of 170 million, they're not pulling this money out of their own pocket. They're pulling this money out from the money they've saved from getting rid of Ronaldo, getting rid of De Gea, getting rid of, you know, Weghorst, Sabitzer, Phil Jones, like Tuanzebe, all of these people who've left, whether it was a free agent or whatever. The Glazers are saving over £1 million a week already in wages. And how many weeks are there in a year? Is it I honestly, I always forget how many weeks there are in a year. It's one of those things that like is really obvious, but I just forget. So right, there's 52 weeks in a year. So they're saving £52 million a year in wages already, just from getting rid of Ronaldo, De Gea, Sabitzer, Weghorst. It's probably more than 1 million. So you see where I'm going with this, guys. You can see why it's gone from 120 to 170 overnight. They're not pulling the money out of their own banks. They're just saying, well, we've just saved 50 million plus in wages. Let's just spend that on players now. So it is quite sneaky, really. And they haven't fooled me. They really, really haven't. Because if they'd come along now, right, and said, here's 500 million we're going to invest into Manchester United, I would say fair play, but I still want you out of the club. Whereas all they've really done here is just save money in wages, and now they're willing to spend that on players. That's all they've done. And I'm not going to fall for it. I'm not stupid. So, yeah, I do think it's still an absolute joke. I know rival fans will say, oh, you've spent $1 billion in the last 10 years. But they've also taken out $1 billion. They've put us $1 billion in debt. So, as much as I like other people's opinions, I don't like hearing rival fans' opinions when they don't actually understand the situation properly. Yeah, you know? So, anyway, where are we? We've got nearly 600 people in the chat this morning, guys. Absolutely incredible. Do make sure you smash a like on the video if you haven't already. And please do subscribe to the channel. We're well on the way to 5k subscribers. So let's see how quickly we can hit that next landmark goal. Right, I'm going to read out a few of your questions, guys. So do get some questions in. Put the letter Q in front of it and I will read them out. Stefan says he thinks we need 6 new players to challenge for the title next season. As I said, guys, let me know in the comments section, how many players do we need to challenge for the title? So Stefan thinks we need 6. He says a goalkeeper, a centre-back, a box-to-box midfielder, a defensive midfielder, and a striker. Yeah, I completely agree with you, Stefan. I do. I think that's spot on. We need 6 players. We really, really do. This is another good question from Lumen. Lumen says, Kieran, which player do you want to leave the club most this window, regardless of the contract situation? I would probably say, Maguire or McTominay, mainly just because they're worth money. Maguire, 25, 30. McTominay, 30. Like, I want people to leave the club who are worth money. Like, people like Sancho, I'm not in the anti-Sancho club. I like Sancho. I don't see the point in selling Sancho. Whereas people like McTominay, people like Maguire, if we sell McTominay, guys, it's 100% profit, remember. He's come from the youth academy. So people like that, I think they need to go. Somebody's saying, is there news about Eriksen being sold? I don't think Eriksen will be sold, guys. I'd be very, very surprised if we sell Christian Eriksen. I don't know where you've seen that story, but I don't think that's true, to be completely honest with you. Anybody wondering about Onana? We do have some news about that. We did speak about it at the beginning of the show, but there is probably lots of new people in the chat now. So there's a story coming out from Fabrizio saying Andre Onana is joining Manchester United. It's just now a matter of formal things and small details. So what that means is they're still talking about the structure of the deal, how much they pay up front, all the rest of it. But there are other reports saying that he is expected, Onana, in Manchester either today or tomorrow for his medical. So we're literally just waiting for that here we go now. But I think it's all but confirmed that Onana will be a Manchester United player, guys. So that's very, very positive. Very good news indeed. We will, of course, go live with the Here We Go video. As soon as that goes live, we will be here for you. So do subscribe and do hit the notification bell. This is a great question. We're getting some great questions this morning, guys, and there's over 600 people watching this today, so massive shouts to all of you. On a Sunday morning at 8 o'clock in the morning, who'd have thought it? Massive shouts to everybody. So we've got a question here, guys, which I will ask everybody back in the chat as well. So somebody says, hey, buddy, how many transfer windows do we need to compete for the Premier League and the Champions League? So I'm going to ask you guys that. So do let me know in the comment section. This is a great question. So thank you for that, whoever asked. The question is, how many transfer windows do Manchester United need to compete for the Premier League and the Champions League? I assume you mean under new owners. I would say, guys, that I reckon we need another this summer, January, and then next year I'd expect to be competing for the Premier League. I would. I think that would be 2 years with Ten Hag. I don't expect us to compete this year, but I think next year I would be expecting us to compete for the Premier League. Maybe not the Champions League, but I think my expectations for next season, not this season coming, the year after, would be that we are at least competing for the Premier League. But do let me know in the comment section, guys, when do you expect Erik ten Hag to actually be challenging for the Premier League? Do you think this year? Do you think next year? Let me know in the comment section. Yeah, we've got well over 600 people watching already this morning, guys. Absolutely incredible. Do make sure you smash a like on the video, and do make sure you subscribe if you are new. I will read out some more of your questions, so do get involved in the live chat and put your questions in, and I will read them out. So Dutchy says, what's going on with the Rashford contract situation? Again, that's a great question. We literally did a video, I think, 4 weeks ago when we first started the channel, saying that Fabrizio had said that Rashford was going to sign a new contract. He's going to be on 350 grand a week, etc., etc. And it's gone completely silent. There's been absolutely nothing. Now, what I think's going on, this is just my opinion, okay? So make of it what you will, and obviously you guys give your opinions as well. I wouldn't be surprised. You know that Manchester United is now a marketing club, isn't it? Everything about them is about their commercial value, about how they... you know, how much money they make from brand deals, etc., etc. I'm just checking something for you guys. I'm not so the Manchester United away kit will be launched on Monday the 24th of July. Now I think that they will announce Marcus Rashford's contract around this day. I think you'll see Marcus Rashford in the new away kit. It's announced on Monday the 24th of July. The away kit will be released. I think we'll see Rashford in the new away kit, and that will be how they announce his deal. That's just what I think. Obviously, for anybody who missed the video a couple of days ago, PSG are reportedly interested in Marcus Rashford. Apparently, they've been inquiring. I don't think Marcus Rashford will move to PSG. But I've got a great question for you. I'm not trying to blow my own trumpet, but I do think this is a good question. So do let me ask you this. If PSG offered £100 million for Marcus Rashford with 1 year left on his deal, right? Would you accept that? Let me know in the comments section. PSG are interested in Rashford. We've just hit our like targets, guys, so I'll get rid of that poll. Absolutely massive shout. I will start a new poll, guys. I'll start a new poll in a minute. But the question is, if PSG... I'll get in here. Would you sell... Give me 1 second, guys. Smash a like on the video whilst I start the poll. Rashford for 100 mil to PSG. So the question is, this is obviously hypothetical, but would you sell Rashford for 100 million to PSG? Let me know in the comment section, and obviously get involved in the poll. I don't think he's going to go. I honestly think that Marcus Rashford will end his career at Manchester United. He's Manchester United through and through. I wouldn't get rid of him personally. I understand why people will say yes, but personally for me, I wouldn't get rid of him. I love Marcus Rashford. I honestly think that this PSG story was just to get him more money on his contract. And I'm not particularly worried about him signing. I think he will sign. And I honestly think that... This away kit launch on Monday the 24th of July, I think that's a really, really important date. I think we will start seeing signings around those dates. The thing you've got to remember with the Glazers and Manchester United is they buy players around kit launches, and they don't do stuff thinking about the best interest of the team. They do it around the best interest of the marketing value, about when the kit launches are coming out, when the new brand deals are coming out, when the new airline sponsors coming on board. Those are the most important things to the Glazers and the Manchester United marketing team. It's not, let's get the players in early so they can train with Erik ten Hag. They want them to be wearing the new kits. They want them to, have the new brand deal, whatever it might be. This is another good question. Sam says, are you happy with Marcus Rashford earning 375 grand a week? Again, I will ask that back to the chat and I'll give my opinion. Sam has asked a great question. They say, are you happy with Marcus Rashford earning 375 grand a week at Manchester United? That's what's being reported, that Marcus Rashford will earn £375,000 per week at Manchester United. And I'm going to answer this one really, really quickly. I am happy. Okay? My reasons for it... I'll give a bit more explanation, because otherwise you're thinking, what are you on about? I think he deserves it. Jadon Sancho's on 350 grand a week, and Marcus Rashford should earn more than Jadon Sancho. That's the black and white of it. We've already messed up by handing out these ridiculous contracts. Harry Maguire's on 200 grand a week, right? Jadon Sancho's on 350 grand a week. He definitely deserves 375 in my opinion. He does. I mean, Varane's on 340. Casemiro's on 300. Anthony Martial's on 250. Now, I'm not saying that was a good decision to hand out those types of fees. It wasn't. We shouldn't be paying players that amount of money, but we do already. So there's nothing we can do about it. At the end of the day, imagine those negotiations between Manchester United and Marcus Rashford's agent. He'll say, okay, well, I see Jadon Sancho's on 375 grand a week. He sat on the bench for most of last season, and I scored 30 goals. I want more than him. So, you know, that's the black and white of it. We should have never handed Jadon Sancho 350 grand a week. As much as I like him, as much as I want him to do well, our whole wage structure has gone completely out of the window. And as somebody just says in the chat, David De Gea was on 375 grand a week as well. Our wage budget is done for. So I'm not happy about it, because I would rather he was not on that amount of money. But Manchester United have done the job here, not me. There's a bit of breaking news coming out. So loads of people have been asking me about this player, and he's someone I really like. We've got over 650 people in the chat today, guys. Let's see if we can hit 700 people in the chat today. That would be a record. So there's a bit of breaking news coming out from Fabrizio Romano. This is a player that lots of you guys have asked me about. So Xavi Simons of PSV. So apparently PSG have now activated the buyback clause. So Xavi Simons is going to move to PSG. I would have loved to see Xavi Simons at Manchester United. He is a quality player. I would have absolutely loved that, but unfortunately, guys, that will not happen. Xavi Simons will move back to PSG. But yeah, do let me know in the comments section, guys, what you think about... So we've got another question here. Somebody says, Kieran, how can you say Rashford deserves 375, but Kane doesn't deserve 400 at Spurs? Well, the reason that Kane doesn't deserve 400 is because he's currently on 200. Their highest earning player... The thing you've got to understand here, guys, is with what I'm saying about Marcus Rashford, right? Marcus Rashford doesn't deserve 375 grand a week. But because of our current wage bill, because of how ridiculous wages we pay other people, he does. You can only compare with what you currently pay. So at Tottenham, their highest earning player is 200 grand a week, Harry Kane. And they're reportedly going to offer him 400 grand a week. Like, that doesn't make sense. They're doubling their wage bill. They're giving someone 200 going to 400. That doesn't make any sense. Whereas at Manchester United, like, we've already messed up. We've already done the damage. So he does deserve it. He deserves more than Jadon Sancho. That's my point on it, okay? It's a bit of a confusing one to get your head around. It's not as black and white as does he deserve the money or not. He deserves the money because there's other players who are worse than him who are earning pretty much the same. That's why he deserves the money. Whereas Harry Kane at Tottenham, in my opinion, he doesn't deserve to have his wage doubled. Like, he doesn't. Tottenham and Manchester United are not the same, guys. You have to remember. We make way more money than Tottenham. Our commercial value is way more than Tottenham, etc., etc. Do get your questions in, guys. I will read out some more questions in a minute. And yeah, do make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new here. And obviously like the video as well. It doesn't cost any money. Completely free. Anybody who is new here today, we do go live at 8 a.m. UK time and 6 p.m. UK time every single day for a 1-hour show. I try and make it as interactive as possible. I try and ask you guys questions that I get asked and, you know, get you involved. So I do hope you're enjoying the content and the show this morning, because I absolutely love speaking to you guys every morning and evening. So massive shouts to everybody who joins every day. I really do appreciate you. Right. I will come back to the chat in a minute, so give me 1 minute. I'm just going to have a sip of water, which is always important. Right. Right, let's have a look at who is in the chat this morning. So Miles says, Kieran, how come Manchester United pay a lot of wages and other clubs don't? I think the reason why Manchester United pay such high wages is because we make so much money. And people come knocking. And, you know, if you go to Tottenham, you know that they don't have the money to be spending 400 grand a week, really, do they? Whereas we do. And as soon as you do it once, as soon as you give one player 350 grand a week, that's it. You're broken for. You're completely done, isn't it? You know, that's the black and white of it, guys. As soon as we gave Sancho 350 grand a week and he doesn't perform on the pitch, we've messed up. We have. As much as I want Sancho to succeed, our wage budget is ruined. Harry Maguire's on 200 grand a week. Look, let me just give you a bit of Sunday, I don't know if I'd call it motivation. Realization, let's call it. Harry Kane is paid the same amount of money as Harry Maguire. Just take that in for a minute. Harry Kane at Tottenham is on 200 grand a week, and we pay Harry Maguire 200 grand a week. I mean, that just says it all, doesn't it? So when people are saying Rashford doesn't deserve 375 grand a week, well, if we're paying Harry Kane the same as we're paying Harry Maguire, then Rashford definitely deserves 375 grand a week, because our wage budget's ruined. There is no way you can negotiate with Rashford's agent. They'll just say, you pay Maguire 200 grand a week and you pay Sancho 350. I want 375. There's no argument. There isn't. Welcome to all the new people today. I'm seeing lots and lots of people in the chat who are new today. Anybody who is joining late, I will summarize everything at the end of the video, so do hold on. I will read out a few of your questions, but yeah, we've seen lots of new people in the chat today, which is obviously really, really appreciated. Yeah. Hopefully, it seems like lots of you have enjoyed the show this morning, which is ultimately all I aim to do. So let's read out another question. Lumen says, Kieran, could your Rashford score over 30 goals in a Spurs team like Kane? Yeah, I think he could. I think Rashford would get 30 goals for Spurs. Why not? Spurs scored more goals than us last season. So I don't know why he wouldn't be able to. So Spurs last season in the Premier League scored 70 goals. Manchester United scored 58. So yeah, I don't see why Rashford wouldn't get 30 goals for Spurs, to be completely honest with you, in all competitions. I reckon he would. Anyway, let's read out a few more questions. Gary says, how much would we pay Harry Kane if he came to Manchester United? I reckon we'd pay him the same as Rashford, around 375 to 400, which he obviously, at Manchester United, he is worth that, because there's other players similar to him on 350, 375, you know? That's my point. You can only look at what you pay already. You can't compare with other clubs. You can't say, I mean, listen to this, guys. Ederson at Manchester City is on £80,000 a week. 80. One of the best goalkeepers in the world. He's on 80 grand a week, and we were paying David De Gea 375. So you can only compare to yourself. You can't compare to other clubs, because otherwise it's just stupid. You know, if you're paying Ederson almost a quarter of what we paid David De Gea, that just says it all, doesn't it? People asking about Onana. There is a bit of an update about Onana, guys. I don't want to keep talking about it because I know some people are probably sick to death of it. But Fabrizio said that, let me just repeat it really, really quickly. So Fabrizio has said that Andre Onana is joining Manchester United. It's just a matter of formal things and small details. So we're literally just waiting for the announcement, guys. We do expect it probably to be today or tomorrow. Multiple different reports are saying that he is expected either in Manchester today or tomorrow for his medical. So the only thing I can see, you know, is if he failed his medical, that he won't become a Manchester United player. But that's very unlikely. Yeah, so lots of other people are now reporting the story that we broke this morning. Manchester Evening News are also reporting the story that Glazers have told Ten Hag they will back him with a £170 million spending spree this summer amid takeover uncertainty. So this is now being reported by other people, guys, that this war chest has become available. £170 million. That must be plus sales, because as I said to you guys earlier, the budget was 120, and so far this year we've already saved 50 million in wages, getting rid of Phil Jones, Ronaldo, De Gea, Sabitzer, Weghorst. Like, we're saving over £1 million a week in wages, guys, by getting rid of those types of players. So the reason it's gone from 120 to 170 isn't because the Glazers have found a cheeky 50 million down the side of their sofa. No. They've just saved 50 plus million in wages. That's all that's happened here. So don't let them fool you. Don't let them pull the wool over your eyes, as we like to say here in the UK. The only reason this war chest has become available is because they've got rid of players who are on high wages. They've got rid of De Gea on 375. Phil Jones was on like 100 grand a week. Ronaldo was on 500. That's already $1 million. Sabitzer, Weghorst, Tuanzebe. There's another 2 or 3 players. So they're saving over £1 million a week in wages, you know? So that's the only reason that the budget would have increased, because removing players has allowed them to increase the financial fair play stuff, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, but it is being reported by Manchester Evening News as well now. So there are lots of other UK journalists picking up on this story that Manchester United's budget is now 170 million for this summer. I assume that's plus sales, but it hasn't been confirmed. I've got a good question for you, actually, because I do like to make it as interactive as possible. Yeah, I mean, say we've got this 170 million pounds plus sales. Who would you go and sign now with the rest of our budget? Let me know in the comments section. Who would you sign? So obviously, let's just say we've got Onana. I don't want to jinx it. I'm touching wood. I'm holding on to the wood, guys. Say we have got this budget. Who would you sign after Onana and Mason Mount? Who would be your next signings, and how much do you think they'd be available for? Let me know in the comment section, and I will read some out. Yeah, I mean, it is quite funny that it's being reported as this war chest. Someone says, would you like to talk about Lukaku? Not sure what you mean there. I mean, I don't want Lukaku back at Manchester United, if that's what you mean. I definitely do not want Lukaku back at Manchester United. No way. Not a hope in hell. Yeah, no way. What does everyone think about Frank Kessie, by the way, from Barcelona? Apparently Juventus are talking about him. He was someone I did used to quite like, but I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure about him now. I haven't seen much of him play recently, to be honest with you. I will read out a few more comments. We've got about 15 minutes left of the show, guys. So do make sure you smash a like on the video and subscribe if you are new. We've got a couple of other stories to bring you, and then we will be reading out some of your comments. So do get your comments in, and I will read out as many as possible before the show ends. And if you want to do a super chat, or if you want to join the members club, you can just hit the $sign. I'm not really very pushy about that kind of side of things at the moment. So if you are in a position to support the channel, then please do click the $sign. And yeah, any support in any way, even if it's just liking the video, is always appreciated. Right. Yeah, there's more murmurings coming out about Harry Kane this morning, guys. There's more murmurings. There's still a couple of stories coming out this morning saying that Harry Kane's preferred move would be Manchester United. It is frustrating, isn't it? It really is. I honestly think that we should at least go in for Harry Kane. I do. I honestly can see this scenario, right? I don't want to scare you. It's been a really positive show, but I could see this scenario where the Glazers are all sat there and they say, if we buy Harry Kane, do you think that will shut up all the fans? Like, I think they're that stupid that they think if they make one marquee signing, Harry Kane, that it will shut us up. It won't. Like, my hands are literally on my head when I think about it. But I do honestly think that the Glazers are that stupid that they think if they bought Harry Kane, it would silence the fans and there wouldn't be protests on that first day of the season. I think there still will be. There's going to be protests until they go, guys. And obviously, as long as they're peaceful, then obviously people should go and voice their opinions. Yeah, I would be very surprised if he goes to Bayern Munich. Like, why would he go there? People asking about Rasmus Højlund. There's a couple of people in the chat asking about Højlund. We do have a few bits of news on Rasmus Højlund that we will bring to you really, really quickly. Obviously, for anybody who is new to the channel, we did do a whole show about this a couple of days ago. Atalanta allegedly won £85.5 million for Rasmus Højlund. Manchester United tried to do a player plus cash deal. A couple of names that were floating around where they tried to offer Fred, Donny van de Beek, but apparently Atalanta only want the cash. Now, the thing you've got to remember here, guys, is they've set the bid as 85 million. That was exactly the same amount of money that Chelsea wanted at the beginning of the Mason Mount saga. I'm calling it a saga, why not? The Mason Mount saga. At the beginning of the Mason Mount saga, Chelsea wanted 85 and we paid 55. So Atalanta want 85. So does this mean that Manchester United will end up paying 50 to 55 million pounds? I think that's quite realistic. I'm not saying I want to do that, but I could see Manchester United paying 50 to 50 million pounds for Mason Mount, for Rasmus Højlund. But I'm going to ask you guys, how much do you think Rasmus Højlund is worth? Let me know in the comments section. How much would you guys be happy to spend on it? They want 85. Obviously, we're never going to pay 85 million for him. That is absolutely ridiculous money. No way on earth. But would you guys go as high as 50, 55 million? I do think that there's a lot of hype around this player, and I'm not fully convinced, to be completely honest with you. He got 9 goals in Serie A last season. It was his first year in, let's be honest, a proper league last year. He was playing in, I think, the Danish league before that. Last year was his first year in an elite. I mean, is Serie A even an elite league? Okay, let's say it was his first year in one of the top 5 leagues. I wouldn't call Serie A elite. And he got 9 goals. So I'm not entirely convinced. For me personally, I think 35 to 45 million pounds, absolute max for him. Yeah. There's a bit of breaking news. It's not the most glamorous, but I'm going to do let me know in the comment section, guys. How much do you think Rasmus Højlund should, Manchester United should offer for him? There's a bit of breaking news coming in from Samuel Luckhurst saying that Alex Telles and Eric Bailly weren't at Carrington yet for the internationals' return. So if anybody is aware, all of the international players, so Maguire, Rashford, etc., Casemiro, everybody had to return to Manchester United yesterday, right? And 2 players did not, so Telles and Bailly. So I think we can all but confirm that those 2 aren't going to be Manchester United players anymore. They didn't come back to Carrington yesterday. They weren't there. Yeah, so I think we can probably confirm that those 2 are leaving, can't we? Samuel Luckhurst, Manchester Evening News, is reporting that neither Telles or Bailly reported back to Carrington yesterday. So we can only expect that a transfer is imminent for those 2 people, which is positive because they definitely do need to leave the club. People keep saying, so you're saying we found some money. Well, the story that came up this morning, guys, is the Manchester United's budget is now 170 million, right? At first, I thought, great. That's great news. The Glazers are putting some of their own money in. But if you actually think about it, I worked this out whilst we were live on air. I was thinking in my head, and I thought, I tried to work out where they've got this 50 million extra budget from, okay? Just think about it really, really quickly. They're saving 375 grand on De Gea's contract, 500 grand a week on Ronaldo's contract. That's already 875. Phil Jones was on 100 grand a week. He's left. That's 975. Tuanzebe, Sabitzer, Weghorst, they're probably on about 200 grand a week combined. So the Glazers already, this transfer window, have saved around £1 million to £1.2 million a week, which if you times that by 52 weeks in a year is £52 million plus. So it only took me a couple of minutes of maths to see how we've gone from 120 to 170, because ultimately they've saved loads of money in wages. They're not putting their own money in. Yeah, so it makes sense. We've got about 5 minutes left of the video, guys, so do smash a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you are new here. Yeah, we've got 5 minutes left. We will, of course, be... Yeah, so somebody's saying Sabitzer was on 210 grand a week, sorry. So that's where this 50 million budget's come from, guys. They haven't found it down the side of the sofa. They haven't got it out of their own pocket or their own bank. They've saved money in wages and they haven't replaced any of those players. That's the black and white of it. Ronaldo wasn't replaced. Weghorst is gone. Sabitzer's gone. De Gea's gone. Phil Jones has gone. Tuanzebe's gone. You know, they've got rid of 6 or 7 players who were actually on quite high wages. Phil Jones was on 100, etc., etc. So that's how they've managed to do this. It's not them actually doing anything themselves. They've just got players out of the club, and Ronaldo was never replaced. You know, anyway, we don't need to keep going on about that, but you get the picture. We've got over 670 people watching this morning, guys. What an absolutely massive achievement for this channel. I'm just going to see, Fabrizio's just posted something up, so I'm just going to double check what he is saying, because I know we're all waiting for one. We're waiting for those 3 special words, aren't we? It's not about Manchester United, it's about another team, so I will not be talking about that. Right, let me read out a few of your questions really, really quick, guys. Yeah, we will be live at 6 p.m. UK time this evening, guys. So if anybody is new to the channel, we're live at 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. every single day. 8 a.m. UK time and 6 p.m. UK time. Somebody says, if Declan Rice cost 105, why can't we sign Osimhen? I mean, we can't sign Osimhen because he's 150 million pounds and we don't have the money to do it. That's why. Yeah, I mean, this is a damning thought. But Karina says, if we get Harry Kane, it means the Glazers are staying. I agree, to be honest with you. I do. I honestly think the Glazers are stupid enough to think that if they buy Harry Kane, that it will shut us up and we'll be silenced. But that will not happen. There's still going to be protests. We're still going to want the Glazers out, even if they sign Harry Kane. Even if they buy Osimhen, Harry Kane, Declan Rice, whoever else, we're still going to want them out. We are. Somebody's saying, is that 170 left to spend, or is it... so from what this report says, guys, it's 170 million net spend. Sorry, not net spend. I'm confused. 170 million pounds budget plus player sales. So we'll have to take out the money for Onana and Mason Mount. So we'd have 75 million left, regardless of sales. So if you do 170 minus 55 for Mount, minus 43 for Onana, we'd have 72 million pounds left, guys. So based on this report this morning, Manchester United would have 72 million pounds left to spend, plus whatever they can do in sales. So say you bought Rasmus Højlund for 50, which I think is too much, yeah? You'd have 22 million left, so you should be able to just about get Amrabat as well. So for the 170 million, you should be able to just about get Amrabat, Mason Mount, Onana, and Rasmus Højlund, I reckon, just about. And then any other players would come from the back of sales. Yeah. So we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see how this story develops and see if the Glazers actually put their money where their mouth is and, you know, make these signings, because it is very, very essential, because otherwise we're really, really going to struggle next season, guys. We really are. We've got 5 minutes left of the show this morning, guys. I hope everyone has enjoyed it. I've had a really, really good show this morning. Again, thank you to everyone who's joined us, and massive shouts to all the new people in the chat. I'm seeing lots of new names this morning, which is always good to see. Yeah, I'm going to read out a couple of your questions really quickly, guys, before we wrap up the video. So Lubin says, Kieran, how much money do the Glazers want to sell the club for? I mean, that's the $1 million question, isn't it? If anybody is forgotten or put it to the back of the head, the figure was 6 billion at the beginning of this process. 7 months ago, the Glazers wanted 6 billion. We're being told that the offers at the moment are around 6 billion, but I think they want more than that. I do. I think they now want 6.5, 7. They're greedy. But we have to wait and see. Obviously, I don't know for sure. We have to wait and see. Yeah, as Sam says, the amount of money we have left is literally enough to buy Rasmus Højlund and Amrabat and Onana. And then, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't even sell anyone, to be honest. I wouldn't be surprised if they buy those players and then nobody leaves. Yeah, but as I said, that's the billion-dollar question. How much do the Glazers want? I mean, if I knew that answer, I would be a very, very rich man, I think, if I knew exactly how much the Glazers want to sell Manchester United for this summer. I really, really would. Well, I do hope everybody's got some nice plans for the day, and I do hope you've got some, good things. Yeah, I'm going to wrap up the video here, guys. Been an incredible show today. It really, really has. We had nearly 700 people watching live, which is a record for the channel. Please do smash the like button as you're leaving, and please do subscribe to the channel if you are new. We will be back at 6 p.m. UK time for another hour-long interactive show. If we get those 3 magic words from Fabrizio Romano between then and now, of course we will go live. But if not, I'll speak to you guys at 6 p.m. I do hope you have a nice Sunday, and catch you guys later. Lots of love. Peace out.